This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with Chiara Colella, who is joining us all the way from Abruzzo, Italy, from Masciarelli. Thank you very much for joining us in Toronto today.
Thank you for the invitation.
So, we are looking at mainly Trebbiano and Montepulciano here. Two grapes that for many a year, not much was thought of them. They were seen as being either, in the case of Montepulciano, a blending grape, in the case of Trebbiano, a high volume, bulk, junk grape to many people. But you've been doing some pretty special things with those grapes. Please tell us a little bit about what makes your Trebbiano and your Montepulciano so special.
Yeah, not me actually, but Gianni Masciarelli. Gianni Masciarelli was the founder of the Masciarelli winery in the late 70s, and his idea was really to give dignity to these two grape varieties that he thought were simply great for their characteristics. The important thing about Trebbiano, for example, is to keep low the production because it's very productive and you need to keep the quantity under control to save the quality.
Well, Trebbiano does tend to grow like a weed, so it's very easy to produce masses and masses of wine, but very dilute, very nondescript, very tasteless wine.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the let's say the main character of this plant, of the variety, is to grow a lot. It's very productive, specifically in the climate from Abruzzo that is quite warm and is mitigated, of course, by the presence of the mountains, the Apennines, but it's still very warm. We are at the center of Italy, same latitude as Rome, on the Adriatic Sea, which means summer and fall very hot, sometimes dry. The plants grow a lot, have a very let's say high vegetative phase, and during spring, specifically if the spring is very rainy, they can grow a lot. This is not the case with Montepulciano, for example. Montepulciano has, we could say, other troubles. With the hot weather can develop a lot of sugars and get very alcoholic and very tannic. So these two grape varieties needs to be well known in order to give the best. And this is what Gianni Masciarelli did actually. He started to study the climate, study the varieties, and try to understand how to get out of there the best.
In your mind, when one is making a quality Trebbiano, what would the taster find on the nose and the palate? And texturally, what would make a good Trebbiano to you? Because so many people are used to Trebbiano, but as a very nondescript varietal.
Yeah, that's true, because Trebbiano is not particularly aromatic. The main character of the Trebbiano is to be acidic, and so it must be very fresh. Then I feel that it's very subjective actually, what taste you can find or not in a Trebbiano. Normally it has to be a little bit bitter and fresh, and you have to find also flower, white flower, but then we really enter into a subjective matter.
Of course. And when it comes to Montepulciano, we see lots of Montepulciano, very inexpensive Montepulciano. It tastes kind of fruity, kind of easy to drink, but when it comes to serious Montepulciano, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, Montepulciano is very fruity. This is the main character of this grape variety, is to have a very strong red fruit. That can be cherry, can be blueberry, can change, of course, can be also red flowers, for example. So there is a very specific aromatic note in the Montepulciano that varies also according to the different area and the different climate zone in which it's produced. The thing about making a very good Montepulciano is that you need to have one that is able to age for a long time. To make this, you need to make it produce a lot of tannins and the chemical substances that keep it for a long time. And this is, of course, this is not easier. It's much easier to get the fruit out of it because it's typical note.
Yes.
It's fruity. But it's much more difficult to to be able to have a Montepulciano that ages for 10 or 20 years. Our formula, the Masciarelli one, was to introduce the use of French oak barrels, 100% new barrels, something that has been considered for a long time very strange, very weird, because new barrels, new French oak barrels sometimes taste a lot of wood. But we believe that Montepulciano is so strong, so powerful, so tannic, that he needs a strong support by the wood to be able to evolve and age.
Now, with the more sophisticated Trebbiano and with the more sophisticated Montepulciano that you produce, what would be the traditional kind of dishes that you would be pairing with that in Abruzzo?
Yeah, so for example, with Trebbiano, Castello di Semivicoli, we could pair for sure a white ragu of beef or
Veal?
veal.
Yes.
Exactly. While with the Montepulciano, the best thing would be roasted lamb.
Roasted lamb?
Yes,
Ah.
it is very, very traditional.
In the region, it's very traditional.
From Abruzzo, yes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for bringing your wines to Toronto today. We look forward to
you.
tasting through them all over a little bite or so. And yes, thank you very much for joining us at Good Food Revolution.
Thank you for the invitation.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.
This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with Chiara Colella, who is here with us all the way from Abruzzo, Italy, and representing the wonderful house of, I'll have you pronounce it because I've managed to balls it up 3 times now,
Masciarelli.
Masciarelli. A house I've known for quite some time, but still have problems pronouncing the name.